Councilman Nato?
Here.
Councilman Bill? Supervisor Runyon?
Here.
Councilman Brown?
Here.
Councilman Lucia?
Here.
All right, we can start the meeting off with the payment of the claims. So we're gonna bring that to the floor. Ed, okay. And a second,
Oh.
Doug? Does anybody have any questions on any of the claims? Do you wanna look through them or
It's not good,
you were, okay? Then we're about to approve a total of abstract 9 for the general fund, September 19th, 2024, $70,596.34. And the total of abstract 9 for the highway fund for September 19th is $25,709.57, for a total of $98,468.91. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The second resolution I have is to approve budget adjustments. There's a few in here. Do you want to do that now or do that after we discuss other things, or does it matter to you? Okay. They're all in the general fund, so if you wanna flip, it's about halfway through. And it'll say 1 of 10 at the bottom and general fund at the top here. It's landscape, so.
1 of 10?
It will be in here. We'll start there, so we'll be looking for anything on this side that's a negative number.
Which page did you say, Deb?
It's 1 of 10 in your general fund, and it's landscape, like right where you are.
Okay.
What page is that?
This is page 1 of 10.
Okay, then you're good.
So,
So we're just looking for negatives and where it says unencumbered balance. And if you flip into page 3, the assessor's contractual is a negative $441.62. Let's see. They bought a new printer this year, and also the Board of Assessment review was in this code, but not accounted for in the budget, so that put us in the negative a little bit there. So what I'm proposing to move in interest and penalties, which is not our earned interest, it's the interest and penalties that the tax collector collects on the late payments. That's $471.86, and it will cover that negative. So if I just increase the budget for that amount, I can wipe out the assessor's contractual, because that number won't be changing, the interest and penalties. That's how much over we were and what the budget said, so we have it there to use for that. Do you have any questions or anything?
no, the cemetery's contractual, how?
Well, I'm doing them in numerical order, and that's not, I'm in number order, so we're on the assessor one now.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, they're not in the order how they appear on the spreadsheet now.
Okay.
So the next one is page 5, and that's animal control. And that's a negative $266.52. What happened there was when we paid Countryside, and we also had paid Chester, And then there was an interim there where there were 3 dogs, or 2 or 3 dogs picked up that Brett held instead of going to Chester, so eliminated the need for us to have the mileage back and forth. So he did charge us a little bit for taking care of them, and that's where that $266.52 came from. In our real property tax revenue code, we have an extra $384.66, that's over the budget. So I can increase the budget there and then increase the animal control expense for $384.66. It's a little bit more than we need, but I don't know what may happen between now and the end of the year. We have had a lot of dogs picked up. Recently, there was a small one on Zoltz Road that ended up going to Countryside. We may have boarding from them. I didn't receive any bill yet, but they can charge us up to 9 days of boarding at $40 a day, so we'll just see what happens. I don't know if the owner claimed it, I didn't get anything from them yet. But this will cover the loss and it will raise the real property taxes up to the full amount that we've brought in. Have any other questions about that? No? Okay. So the next negative then would be on page 7, and that is occupancy tax. We were going to use some from the prior year's surplus for this, but that journal entry has not been made yet because we are going to get the additional 20,000. So in October, we should be receiving 50,000 in occupancy tax money from the county. So I didn't put that on the list here because that's covered. We don't need to do anything with that one. The next one at the bottom of page 7 is the historian, and that is her salary. Hers is on the chart here in your resolution as being coming out of fund balance, because what happened there was she didn't provide us her social security number for the first 2 years she was here, so she was like owed her pay. She never got paid. And so we did it all this year, but 2 of those years should be coming from fund balance, which is where it sat at the end of the year because she didn't get it. So we finally have her W-4 and her social security number, and we were able to pay her. So it was $500 for 1 year, $550 for the second year, and this year she made 6. So we're $1,050 short, and that's where that's coming from. Any questions? No? Okay. The next one is the community garden on page 8, $188.08. But that will be fully covered by a grant. We're going to get up to $500, and we're going to make the garden a little larger by 4 more raised beds. So before the end of the year, we'll be buying the lumber, which will bring us up to the 500. We'll use the full 500. So we don't have to worry about that negative. The next one is cemeteries, contractual on page 9. That one we do have to resolve. This year there was a woman who came in and her cemetery plots, 2 of them were eliminated by the road that was cut up. It cut off her property there, so she wanted her money back, which we've already approved and paid her earlier, but that was $950. And then there was also the ad in the paper about everybody bringing in their sheet so we'd know, which was a little bit above the budget. So we need $1,126.97 there. We do have an extra $1,270 in general fund sale of equipment, which didn't have any budget amount. So I can increase it by the total, the $1,270, and then put it in cemeteries contractual to cover that negative, and we'll have just a little bit more in case we have something else come up. Any questions or anything? No?
The case where the 2 lots were cut off by the road, explain to me just what happened.
Where the road is on the right-hand side of the Reynolds Cemetery,
Okay.
over time, that's been widened. When Sue Baker and I went there, we went with a tape and measured it out, and her lots are gone, you can't put anybody there.
Okay.
She had 4 lots, she kept 2, and she had the option of either picking a different two or getting refunded, and she wanted to be refunded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we heard anything from the surveyor on this?
Nope, nothing.
Alright, I'll call it, 'cause
Yeah, because even with the new highway garage, we wanted to use them, and Gary reached out to them, and so did I, they never even responded regarding that. And now it turns out we don't need that survey for that line anymore, cause the well and the septic is gonna be in a different spot, so we don't need them.
Bonnie Kim called me way too, something about where my parents' lot is and her lot is, something isn't. I said, I have no idea, 'cause we haven't got the map straightened out yet, I don't know.
this
what-
survey was supposed to be done like the end of last fall.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, it's supposed to be done a long time
I've never
ago.
received a thing from, and I know they were there
Well, I
because.
mean, we paid the retainer, right?
We paid the $1,000, yeah, and that check cleared, and Scott has seen them up there doing the survey, and there are ribbons.
Ribbons.
Yeah, there's ribbons. But ask her to go see Sue, because Sue is mapping it out,
Okay.
and she can check what was and what
She
should
wanted
be.
me to meet her up there, like, well, I don't know nothing about it, why you wanna meet me, 'cause there's
Yeah.
nothing,
Depends where she's at too, because I don't know if she's on the
something to
road.
do right in front of my parents'
Mhm.
lot, there's, I don't know, some kind of.
See, that was our big problem, is where people physically are is not where they are on the map. So that's why the ad went into the paper, and there were quite a few people that came in to resolve the issues, and I'm pretty sure that part of it is all resolved. Yeah, because someone came in today to buy a lot, and I know Sue handled that, so ask her to talk to her, because you're working on it too, right, Cynthia, the cemetery plot, are you working with Sue on that?
Well, she mostly does it,
Yeah.
'cause she kinda knows it,
Yeah.
yeah, but I do a lot of, notarizing deeds and stuff.
You do that part, yeah.
But she understands, she's real familiar with all of it, so.
Yeah, she'll know, so.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
sidetrack.
that's okay, no, that's
Conversation.
fine. So those are the four that we have. So that takes care of all the ones we have, not a big deal, they're small. But we do have one that will be coming up that I did wanna talk to you about, and that's the engineer. The engineer bill that's in this abstract, which is part of why the general fund is 90-something thousand for bills. 54,832 is for work they've done for the new highway garage. Now, that's gonna put us in the negative. However, when we get the bond money, any cost we're doing now for the highway garage will be reimbursed. So that will be reimbursed. But it's gonna sit on our books as a negative, and I don't know if you wanna deal with it. Do you want to use fund balance just to make it not be a zero? Do you want to wait until we get the sales tax and use that? I mean, somehow it will be reimbursed, but in the meantime, we're gonna have a negative.
And I mean, legally, at the end of the year, we can't have a negative on the books.
No,
So
so
we've
it
gotta
will
do
have to
something
be resolved
before.
somehow.
So,
We could use fund balance now, and then, my only, the only thing wrong about that is pulling it out of New York class, I don't wanna do that, but if we have to do that to solve the negative, I mean, there's money in the bank to pay for that. That's not the problem, it's how it looks on the financials.
Randy said it's gotta be taken care of before the first, and before the end of December.
I mean, we only have 3 months left, yeah.
I mean, you can leave it on the books for now until the end of the year, so you don't have to pull it out of New York.
Exactly, all that journal entries and moving, yeah, I know, and I don't wanna pull it out of New York class if I can help it. But I just wanna let you know, that will bring us about 30,000 in the negative on the engineer expense line.
When is our next sales tax payment coming in?
It'll come in either late October or November, and I do have a sheet on that here, cause I've been keeping an eye on,
And
where we're at.
correct me if I'm wrong, sales tax has been up in Warren County this
Oh,
year.
yeah,
So we may have an excess there that would help cover this.
we're gonna have quite an excess, do you want me to make you copies of this? I mean, I think you've gotten it already, but.
You gave it to us one.
Yeah. So where we're at right now with the budget, we need $10,719 to make our budget amount.
Mhm.
Last year, we got 172,480, so we're going to be, we're gonna have a big surplus there.
Okay, so that'll cover it.
So if we have to use that, we can, hopefully we don't. But either way, we have it. we'll have plenty.
We'll cover it and
Yeah, we'll have plenty if we have to cover it and then reimburse us for up to next year. Yeah. Okay, so that's where we are with the finances. They're looking pretty good. I mean, these are small, so if you have no other questions, then I'll just call a vote on approving these budget adjustments, okay?
You need a motion and a second first.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I'll make the motion.
okay.
Randy, I'll second.
Ed seconds it? Okay. We had our discussion first, but that's okay. So, whereas the town of Thurman requires necessary budget adjustments reflected in the chart below to eliminate and/or prevent negative balances, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Thurman approves the budget adjustments reflected in the chart above. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's it. Okay. That's all I have for resolutions right now. So we can move on to our discussions, or we can, look at the grant application for OCTAX. That would be a resolution, so we could do that now if we want. Okay. We have a resolution, a grant application for Adirondack Alchemists for $250, which was going to go to, let's see. Oh, for printing, for banners, that's what she wants, banners. Maybe brochures, either, whatever, for printing. What kind of people are gonna be there? Do you know what they're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna have acupuncturist, massage therapists. We've got people that specialize in different tinctures, sound bowl healers, Reiki, like all holistic natural. There's a naturopathic doctor that wanted to come up and advertise that she'll be getting a physical location soon. And she does all sorts of like tinctures and herbal based healings for different, all sorts of ailments. Her page is pretty incredible. I was going to reach out to the Adirondack Salt Caves for them to come up. Just a lot of different natural healing options.
Oh, that's good. I
So,
wanna go to that salt cave, I've heard really good things about
I've been
that.
there, it's really
You've
nice.
been there?
Yeah, it's really nice.
so I just want to issue the disclaimer as always that I can't vote on this, so
Oh,
I'll
because-
abstain. But I just do have a couple of questions, just because I'm not familiar with all of this. Because this is actually part of the fall farm tour, you're being included as a stop. Have you talked to Winnie about having this covered under the fall farm tour budget?
I'm so happy you asked. I actually was spoken to by Lisa and told that I was not allowed to ask for occupancy tax money for any of what we're doing up there. Because the money is not benefiting the TCA, and I do have those messages.
Okay. I have to tread carefully here because
No, it's.
I'm a town board member, but I'm also in the TCA. I don't wanna get caught in the middle of something here, so I just wanna make sure that everybody understands what's going on. So, and I wanna understand what's going on. When you said ask for money, do you mean ask for occupancy tax money?
Yes, for banners, promotional banners, everything that should be covered under occupancy tax money. And I think the easiest thing to say here would be, we did not intend to be part of the fall farm tour to begin with. We were asked to jump on and include ourselves in it. We didn't want to be where somebody asked us to be because we wanted to be where we planned to be, and now we're kind of hitting roadblocks everywhere we go, so we're gonna stand alone on it, and next year we will pick a different day.
Fair enough. I mean, I just wanted to understand what's happening with it. So, I mean, my gut reaction is that being that it's part of the fall farm tour,
And I even mentioned that I am part of the TCA and that I pay dues.
right? I think one of the things the TCA is very careful about is how they request and what they request occupancy tax money to cover, because not everything is eligible. So I think maybe there's some thinking
figured it
I
was,
didn't know you were requesting this, so.
yeah, well, I figured it was a pretty small dollar amount in comparison, and, like I said, because next year we'll figure out something different so we don't have any issues, that it'd be easier to standalone to begin with.
It'll be next year, it'll be a different day anyway, it'll be on.
Right, that's what
it'll
I'm
be on
saying,
their
so
own,
I think we
like a
might as well just
wall.
start now with no,
Yeah,
oh, well, if TCA funded that through their allotment or whatever, like this is just gonna be
This year.
separate, just to,
yeah, I did. It's too bad that you couldn't get them all together for Lake George TV, you know, if you did a little video.
I know.
You could do something
I'm
and
still
get it
gonna
to
send them each of the things that I get and like all together and
Yeah.
try to like push it out
You
that
could
way.
do snaps of each, like say you did something and.
Yeah,
also-
I think
And
most
then
people
send it
have
to 'em
pictures
like
of
that.
setups from other places that I'm
Yeah.
gonna kind of try to piece together and send them. And
You could give that to them and they'll format it.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So have you, I mean, the gentleman you met at the last TCA meeting, Brian, that's doing social media, have you had contact with him and?
He's not really emailed me. I sent him over all those pictures and I didn't even get a response to those other than that he got them, like, and that was face to face, that was it.
I'm
So,
sure he'll be using them, he's
Yeah.
using everything everybody's sending him, so
yeah,
I see no reason he won't do it
yeah.
for you.
No, they were really nice pictures. I mean, there's barns in some of the pictures too, so it's, you know, just trying to be helpful.
Well, with occupancy tax money, I mean, we have no shortage of it. Once we get the extra 50,000, we'll be back up to 80,000 in occupancy money, so it's not an issue about
No.
funding it at all.
The dollar amount's not an issue.
No, not an issue at all. Okay, do you have any other questions or
I got
anything?
Brian has a question.
Okay,
As far as the occupancy tax money, and the case that she's talking about, isn't it up to the board how the occupancy tax money's spent, not TCA?
is there enough to what?
Isn't it up to the board members?
Yes. Well,
TCA got their own
individually.
allotment. TCA
Yeah,
put in for
I
money, they got it.
understand.
So then I had,
But you're coming in front of the board to get
Yes.
money for what you wanna do.
yeah,
It's up, it should be up to them whether you get it or not TCA.
Well, I don't think the TCA is saying that she can't
That's
guess.
kind of what it sounds like.
No, they're saying out of their money.
out of
she
their
can-
allotment. They didn't
yeah.
want me to use
Yeah.
any of their
I
allotment.
misunderstood.
Yeah, she can apply on her own, but
Yes,
she,
that's what I thought.
yeah. I don't have a formal resolution typed up for this, but, we can
Bring it
just,
to the floor.
yeah, bring it to the
Yeah,
floor.
I'll bring it to the floor.
Okay.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll second
Okay. Can it say grant application for occupancy tax money of $250 for Adirondack Alchemist
Yeah, that's fine.
is approved?
No, is it what?
Or the board approved?
Board approves, yeah, I can say that.
Approved. Grant the grant application. Okay, for 200, yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. The next thing that I have here, is Frontier Internet. It's just an email, that I received. I just wanted to let everyone know that they responded to me. Here it is. Says, I wanted to follow up on these construction projects. I did pass along the request about Tippecanoe Road to Frontier. There are additional projects planned to reach additional potential service locations in Thurman in the future, but these are the only two I have on my schedule for permits currently. So last month, did I give you all the maps and stuff that Frontier gave me? Yeah, okay. Do you have them? Do you
I don't
have?
remember.
I'll show them to you.
It's very possible I saw them.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty much the
They
same
look like
route
this,
what they had.
And they have all the routes where they're gonna go down Charles Oles Road and
I
Butler
don't recall
Hill.
seeing that.
I can make you copies of that if you
Why
want.
would they go down Charles Oles Road? There's
I know.
four service connections and we're all already connected. It's like,
Mhm.
this is really illogical.
I know, and my question to them was, why are you going down roads that already have it? Why don't you go to roads that don't have it, cause you know you'll get those customers for sure. But if you wanna look through mine and I'll make you a copy later, they're going all the way down Frost Street, I'm the only one on it.
Broad Street.
Yeah, Shanahan Road, there's 2 people on it. Mud Street, which already has slick, they're coming down Smith Road, Buckley Road, Bear Pond Road.
Have you had any conversation with anybody from Slick to see
Yeah.
what their plans are?
Yep, they can't do anything about this and they don't have any plans to increase, so they'll find out. Maybe these people got grants and they're gonna use them, I don't know, but when you look at the road, River Road, Boyce Cross Road, Bowen Hill, I mean, these are all the roads that they're gonna be bringing this down. Some are buried, some are on poles, Glen April Road, Parker Cross Road,
This is Verizon.
so they're coming, no, this is Frontier.
Frontier.
This is Frontier
You're
Internet.
trying to come where Slick must be, you're trying to.
Well, didn't Verizon just buy Frontier? That's what I heard, that Verizon bought them. I don't know. But the point was, I wanted to let you know that I did reach out to see why aren't they doing roads where there's a need.
Yeah.
If you already have slick, why do they need to come through here? They could, so,
Will they give us a better price?
That's maybe what they're trying to do, is trying to cut Slick out of.
yeah, competition.
Competition.
Because that's what I was told, that I said, well, what can we do? What rights do we have with this? Anywhere they're gonna use a pole, we have no control over what they do. We can only control where they say they're gonna dig and bury. So like if Pat said, I don't want that road dug up, like Smith Street was just paved, does he want the road dug up? Maybe not. So he'll have the right to say, no, you can't bury lines there. But when it comes to lines on the poles, nope, no say at all. It's a competitive market and they can do that.
I got a question.
Okay.
If Frontier just bought Verizon, that means Verizon's lines are already run, so they can drop the price of your internet. They've already got Verizon, everybody in town's Verizon line goes to Debbie. I'm on Debbie Kill with no internet, but I got Verizon, so they're already set up.
But Verizon you're talking about the old copper phone lines.
Well,
I think
it's
we're
funny you should ask, because I just talked to a woman in Weavertown. When we had them bad storms, her whole road washed out and they had problems with their Frontier lines. She had a copper line for a landline telephone, and when they came to fix it, they took her landline out on her and told her that was only gonna be Frontier in charge by using Frontier internet, that you could get a phone. They wouldn't hook her
Really?
their landline back up.
right.
And she tried and said, I want my landline back, and he said, absolutely not.
No
But as far as
kidding.
Verizon service in town, my understanding is all they provide now is the old existing copper wire for landlines,
DSL was the
but that's still copper wire. That's the old copper wire system.
state, as far as I know, the box right in front of Parker Crossroad has fiber optics to it, and that's Verizon's box.
Really?
It's been fiber optics there for 15 years, and they never did anything with it.
Well, in your packet, to go to the next topic, is Verizon. They did send this form they want me to fill out for the APA, and they're going to be putting cell tower on Huber Road. There's already a tower there, and they're gonna be adding their cell service to that tower. So, I'm just letting you know, I have to fill this APA request out and see where it leads. But, so if you have Verizon cell phone, you should be able to have better service once they do that, I would think. I don't know, I just wanna let
There's
you know.
no cell service, so I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's another topic thing that I had here, and the next one is, I just wanna let you know about the exempt railroad crossing that's on this here. I was asked to exempt the bus from having to stop at the railroad crossing up by the Glen Bridge. And I don't have the authority, nobody here, we don't have the authority to do that. It has to go to the Department of Transportation. So apparently there's been some near misses of accidents of people taking that turn and almost hitting the bus. And since they aren't doing anything with the railroad tracks, there's two that they want exempted, only one is in our town. So I had to write this letter. They gave me the whole format, latitude, longitude and all that. Just requesting that they have an exempt sign placed on them, and then the bus won't have to stop there anymore. Then someone else told me that no matter even if there is an exempt sign, buses still have to stop. I don't know if that's true or not,
They
but
do in, 418, or I see them all the time.
They do.
With the
Yes,
stuff.
they-
Yep.
they
By law,
stop,
they
they
have
go
to.
through.
No,
So
they
does a
stop.
fuel truck.
Yep.
Anything's carrying propane or fuel oil has to stop it.
That's what someone told me, if I knew about the propane, I didn't know about a bus. See, they may go through all this and then the Department of Transportation says we can't exempt a bus,
Yeah.
so.
I
They
know.
stop there.
I know the bus stops at 418, I've been behind them numerous times.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
I would say before you send this letter, just give this Valerie Dean a call and see if it's even plausible to do this, because it doesn't sound like it is.
Well, she's the one who sent me the verbiage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the one who sent me the verbiage for this letter. I didn't make this letter up. They told me this. The only thing I put in was I received notification of several car-related near misses. And because I don't even know if the tracks are no longer in use. What if Revolution Rail expands? What if they make it a bike path? What if, I don't know what the plan is for
I
it.
know they were on the track when they had to do the repair, and
Mhm.
they were there, so
Yeah.
it's probably not a good idea to make it exempt, because you never know when they're gonna come and repair.
Well, Department of Transportation.
Well, they were there,
Yeah.
they were
Is it-
on the tracks.
Is it crossing on Glen Ethel Road or 28 that she's talking about?
When
Glen
It
Ethel.
says the crossing name is State Route 28.
Yeah, well, if it's on 28, it's not even in the town of Thurman, is it?
Well, it's town.
Well, originally, they had it as Warrensburg, and then they sent me a thing telling me, no, it's not Warrensburg, it's Thurman. So I don't know.
yeah, just.
Town of Thurman sign's right next to Wildwater, that's where.
Yeah, right, I know where that, and I thought they meant the tracks after that, you know, as you're coming in, there's,
Yeah, that's what I was asking, the Glen Ethel tracks, cause if she
Yeah.
mentioned that, she'd mention 418, cause they're both in our town.
Mhm.
But I
They-
think 28 is in the town of Chester.
they called it, the crossing name is State Route 28, formerly known as Saratoga and North Creek Railway. So-
28 would be town John's.
Yeah.
Right.
Chester.
Johnsburg does have one too, they have one, it's Johnsburg that wants this done, actually. Yeah, that he's the one who first approached me about doing it. I said, I don't have the authority, nobody here has the authority to exempt a bus, so. Just letting you know that's in the works. And, let's see, oh, then I have this here thing about, Bimbo Bakeries, Richard Barty brought this in. And it is the availability for us to go down, I believe it's in Glens Falls, yep, to get bread, buns, sweet baked goods, breakfast, snacks, and bread alternatives for free, either for our cleaning or to give out to people. I just have to fill out a form here, stating that we're not gonna sell them or anything. And then, if you said you would be willing to go and get them, so. Yeah, when I talked to Ed about it, yeah, if we picked them up, if he went down to get them like the last Friday of the month and we have them for the Monday cleaning, that would help some people out.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost us anything, there's Freihoffers, there's Sara Lee, there's different things.
It's at the whole fire.
Is that what it is?
Jamie already goes right down there
Hmm?
to get, Jamie Ross already goes right down that way to pick up the stuff from Panera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where all the bread comes from, or I've helped her unload it before, she's bringing tons of bread from Panera, and
So
that's,
she might be willing
she
to pick it
might,
up too.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, I don't know.
volunteering her,
I'll
but I'm just saying, if she's already down there, she might,
I'll ask her.
it might be easier than,
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
as a, yes, Chris.
I'll ask her about it though, that's good to know. I didn't know where she got it from. I thought they brought it to the church or something for her.
Oh, no, she goes all the way down to Panera, I guess, and gets it and brings it back up.
I never knew that. Okay, then the other thing, our New York class interest, well, I did have to move out the 300,000 from the highway to cover the chips. But we did get the chips check, so that'll be going back in. For the month of August, we earned $5,050.80, and so far this year, $38,388. my favorite bit of good news that I'm really excited about is we finally have a good fiscal stress score. It came in just yesterday. So and I was just on a webinar about the fiscal stress monitoring system. So you can have a score between 0 and 44.9, that's good, really good. 45 to 54, you're susceptible to having fiscal stress. And then it goes up, 55 to 64.9 is moderate, and if you're over 65, you have a significant stress. Ours is 3.3, so
Good.
we're
Good
good.
job.
That would be real good for going to get a bond. You know?
That's right, good job.
This has a lot to do with just the fact that you were able to get the
Oh, the AUDs going on.
AUDs done. I mean,
Yeah.
without those, that wouldn't be the case.
We
So
wouldn't have a score at all.
You deserve a lot of credit for that, Deb.
Yeah, it would say not filed, not filed, not filed, like all of them would say. But finally, I'm really happy about this. 3.3, that's good.
You did a lot of work on it, getting
Yeah.
caught up on all the back ones, so that's.
Yeah, we're all caught up. Now they'll be easy after that. Let's see, what else do I have? Anything? Oh, the last thing to talk about, let me see, I think I hit it. Budget adjustment. Before we leave, I would like to do our budget workshop dates. Tomorrow is the day I get the forms back from all the departments. The tentative budget is due by the 30th to the town clerk. It's due by October 5th to the board. And after that, we need to start scheduling some workshops. So I don't know if you wanna do it now, but I would like to have some before the October meeting. And, our notice of the public hearing has to be done by I'm putting it here for October 17th, but it's really not due till the 7th of November. So we'll see where we're at. And the tax cap override, I figured I would do that at our October meeting too, before we finalize our budget. And we have some idea where we're gonna be. So do you have any dates in October that are no good for you? No? Okay.
I'm mostly pretty flexible, except I am gonna be tied up during the daytime, and I don't know until what time on the 16th and 17th of October.
Okay,
So I don't know what time I'll be done on those days.
yeah.
Um,
Well, we'll have to have a meeting on the 4th, or sometime right after, for you to get the budget, or I can just give it to you, yeah. That's the day that, the town clerk presents the budget to the board. It's supposed to be October 5th, but I'd rather do it on Friday, if you guys would be okay with that.
Yep.
And that way you have some time to go over it, so we could probably set something up for maybe October 14th, that Monday, before our meeting.
So we're gonna have a meeting on the 4th to start with,
We
though.
have to have a meeting, right? Cynthia, do you have to present the budget in a meeting, or do you just have to give it to them?
Can't remember, I mean, it's kinda silly to have a meeting.
It is silly. I don't know what the legal requirement is off the top of my head. I don't recall, but I know we've always had a meeting for it to be presented. Hand out the budget, and then we leave. So,
Well,
We get the big one.
I mean, it's
yeah,
That's
When does it have to be by? I don't,
the 5th.
by October 5th, the board has to have the tentative budget.
want me to go get my book?
I have mine, but I don't know if it's gonna.
I've always come in.
I think it just says the town clerk has to present the tentative to the town board.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't say at a meeting, because I would have wrote that down that I needed a meeting.
I mean, it's nothing that, nobody's talking about anything, it's just here.
Well, if we do it on Friday and you have them, even if you just pick them up, I don't think it matters. But you have a whole week then to look it over, and then we meet on Monday, so you would have, questions, suggestions, whatever.
What date?
Could we do it on the 3rd instead, so that in case it's a beautiful day and I don't wanna go on ride my horse.
Oh, you mean for Friday? Yeah, because Friday's
Yeah,
your day
because
off,
it might
right,
be beautiful,
right.
and then I wouldn't,
No,
that. I'm here, I'm already here.
Yeah, you're already here, and I'll have it done.
You don't mind.
Well, no, it doesn't matter to me, cause I have to have it to you by September 30th, so
We
it's
have to
not
have
like,
a meeting.
we have to have a meeting?
Yep.
How about
The town clerk is required to present the tentative budget to the town board at a regular or special meeting
Well, we'll have a
held
special
on
meeting.
or before October 5th.
So we'll have a special meeting on the 3rd then.
Okay, thank you. Okay, special meeting to present the budget, so I gotta advertise that.
You can give it to us ahead of time, but we still have to have the meeting, so.
Okay. I guess they're giving you days to copy it or something, cause I have to have it to you on the 30th, which gives you,
4:30?
hmm?
4:30?
Yeah, 4:30 is fine.
Okay.
So,
Special meeting to present the budget at 4:30 on October 3rd.
Okay.
okay, we're on the 3rd, okay,
Yeah, cause she's off on Friday, so.
okay, good enough. So that's the first one.
So that gives you 2 weekends to look over the budget, that's
So
good.
when's the next meeting,
Well, our real meeting is on the 17th,
right?
but I'd like to schedule a workshop. Or do you wanna wait all that time and then start to have the workshops after the meeting? Cause the more time we have to talk and go over all this stuff, the better.
I mean, I'm not opposed to having a workshop ahead of time. Personally, I'm kind of busy on the 12th, which is the fall October.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so
before
why
that.
don't we,
But I'll work with whatever you guys decide to do.
no, that's fine. To have a week to look it over is a good idea, and 2 weekends, it's a lot to look over, you know? And then I'll be here if you want questions, if you wanna like look at a ledger code, if you wanna, I don't know, any questions that you might have about why numbers are the way they are, for me to explain the numbers, that's fine too.
So we're gonna have it on the 3rd, and then we're gonna have our regular meeting on the 17th?
Yep,
Okay,
unless someone here decides you want something sooner. If you want something sooner, we can do it. If not, you can make a list of questions, suggestions, you can come in and see me one at a time, whatever you wanna do. But on the 17th, we'll be doing the tax cap override local law just to protect ourselves. And I'm hoping we don't have to go over the tax cap because we do have about maybe over $4,000 in credit from last year where we were under. So we'll have to see how that goes. But let me tell you, those 2 months go fast before November 20th. I mean, you know, the budget adoption day is not far.
So the 3rd, 17th,
The 3rd and the 17th are regular
and you wanna
meeting.
do a workshop after that, or what do you thought, do we have a meeting?
Yeah, we could do it after that if you want, unless you feel the need, but you can come on one-on-one to talk to me anytime about any numbers. And that way, that will solve that problem. We don't need a workshop to do that, you just come in. I just can't be with 2 of you at a time.
we need to do something to turn the tentative budget into the preliminary budget. So if we don't do that at the meeting, the regular meeting on the 17th, we're gonna have to have a meeting after that.
That's what I thought.
Now, how does the preliminary, doesn't that have to be done after the public hearing?
Yes.
The public hearing isn't until after the election, so that would be like, I picked on the 7th. I think it says the Thursday after the election.
That's right, yeah, it is.
There are all these rules for deadlines for this stuff.
So do you know you're gonna have a public hearing on the 7th of November?
That's what I have, because it has to be done by the Thursday after the election.
Should I advertise that?
You can?
It can't hurt to let everybody know as far ahead as possible, right?
Yeah,
What did you just say about the election? I just wanna make sure I've got this right.
I'm pretty sure it said you have to do it by the Thursday after the election.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
And when is the election? It's on the 5th, right?
Right.
mhm.
Yeah, so we'll be, okay. I don't know why they put the election into it, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know why they picked that wording, but.
So then,
So the public hearing will be on the 7th.
At what time?
4:30 works for me, doesn't it?
November?
Huh?
November?
Yeah, we're in November now.
At 4:30?
4:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Public hearing.
And the final revision needs to be done between the 7th and the 20th, because the budget gets adopted on the 20th. So we will have to have, too bad our meeting's the 21st. We could move our regular meeting up a day and do it Wednesday, so we can adopt the budget in time, right? So when they say adopt the budget, does that mean I have to bring it down to the county on that day?
So we're gonna move the regular meeting to,
I was thinking the 20th,
Why don't we just move the meeting to the week prior, the Thursday prior?
the 14th?
Yeah.
That's fine.
That way you have time in case something goes wrong.
Okay,
okay, so November
perfect.
14th will be our regular meeting this month, right?
In November, the regular meeting will be on the 14th.
Okay.
November.
Yeah, November.
14.
And we may be adopting it then, which would make life much simpler.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. That's why I wanna have a lot of discussion and a lot of, any questions you have, come and ask me. You know, you say, why did you put this number here? I wanna hopefully tell you why.
So, that works.
Okay, so we got everything on my list except for the garbage pickup. Now, two things have been brought to my attention about the garbage truck. One is not driving that garbage truck regularly allows garbage in that truck to ooze out, and they're worried that it's going to corrode the metal on the inside, and they're also worried about the brakes. It's not good to have it sitting there. I would really like to start driving that truck early October, if we can figure out what we wanna do and how. Now, one of the things that we discussed last time was to still use the stickers. But then I was thinking, if you pay $40 a month for your pickup now, and then it's gonna cost you that to buy the stickers, nobody's gonna wanna do that. I really want it to be no cost at all, like stickers wise or paying, but to have it with the tax bill, cause we already are paying, like people's taxes already went to the truck, they already go to the driving of the truck to the burn plant. The people that will be driving it already are employed here. It's not gonna cost much more other than the gas to go around town.
So, I just wanna say, I'm not opposed to the garbage pickup, I'm not, but I wanna talk about some of the logistics of what we're doing
Right.
and how we're gonna do it, because, so here's, like, just, I've got a number of concerns, but like, one of them is, currently, we all have these big garbage cans with a lid on them, people set their garbage out the day before, the night before, whatever, and it gets picked up early the next morning usually.
Yeah,
If we don't have the truck that can pick up and dump those big garbage cans, what are we gonna tell people? Are they just gonna be sitting garbage bags next to the road, or are they gonna have to have it in a can? What's the plan? How do we plan to do this?
right,
Because if you leave just garbage bags next to the road overnight, you got animals.
right, they're gonna have to buy a can.
I've seen the same thing with the cans. I have complaints all the time. Cans, it's the same thing.
Well, yeah, they've done
That's an ongoing
can
problem
too.
as far as I'm concerned. The last time, it was fine with the bags. I mean, if you put your can out too early, you can go on any of these roads in the morning, there's garbage all
Yeah, hands do.
over. And there is, and it's
Okay.
just something you
I
have
mean,
to
I haven't
do.
experienced
Well, you
that.
probably haven't had that problem, though. Coming to the landfill, garbage cans and bird feeders. If you don't take care of them at a certain time,
Yeah.
they're to their or the coons. But we always had just bags, you know.
So we're just gonna allow people to set out garbage bags.
We always did. We did try, okay, and that was work. Okay, yes, we had problems with critters from time to time. People still have problems with their 64, 68 gallon. They still have that problem, even when they water time. I mean, I see it all the time. They come in and buy extra tag because they got to clean up their mess, and the company won't stop and pick the mess up. That's there for that.
Okay.
I do think we should have a list. I think that if you want your garbage picked up that way, free with the garbage truck, we should know who they are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be driving down roads that maybe you don't need to be.
Yeah.
And we should have they should register to do it.
Good idea.
I'd like to also add, I mean, there's no reason, some of these people, I talk to a lot of people, of course you go out and in there, and there's a lot of people do want it, and there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons both. Well, my driveway's too long. They still have the option to bring it to the landfill
Right.
when we are open during business hours at no cost and whatever
Right.
the other person is. So I think that would be very fair, you know? And
How are we gonna handle recyclables?
that's my question that I'm talking to you about. We'd have to have one day, we'd have to have a truck to pick recyclables up. Prior years, we had 1 week, you pick this, this, and this. What I found, and I run that a lot, but, you know, years ago. Plastic is the worst, then you got tin and glass. There's no reason you can't pick them all up in one day, as long as they're in separate bags. You know.
See, right now, I think everybody's
Mixed.
it's all mixed, you just throw it in the
Yeah,
thing.
zero.
Well, that's what we're trying to find out, because, the glass, I wouldn't mind do so much with that, I don't know, that's not contaminated, but we can pick them up in one day, you know.
Since the county will be hauling, can we pick them up and just put them in our own landfill in a cubic yard container and have the county haul them? Or do they need to be separated when they do that?
I think they have to be separated, but this is what I brought up earlier. I would like to know what the master waste schedule is gonna be for the county and the prices before, you know, we go. And maybe she can find more information, because right now, it's expensive.
I'll have to find out if they're even doing that, because if DPW is starting to pick it up,
Right,
they may not even be going out to bid.
yeah.
I'll have to ask
Yeah,
Julie.
I would like to know.
So is the town bringing the garbage directly to Wheelabrators, or are you bringing it somewhere else?
No, there's
Burn
other
plant.
places we could go, you know, certain product go certain places,
Right.
you know.
You mean
But she's
recyclables?
talking about the household.
I'm talking about
garbage.
regular household garbage
Household
going
garbage.
directly to Wheelabrators.
She's asking
right?
where does it go now?
Barn Hollow right now, that's off exit 17.
Oh.
Yep. Right now, we don't have a contract with Hudson Falls. We're trying to get a contract. It's so much closer, and they used to be cheaper now. I don't know now. Prices are going up and up.
Mhm.
But we are going to try to get back to Wheelwright there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. They stopped us for some reason when Waste Management took over and the prices went up. The driver went down one morning, they sent him home. They wouldn't let him dump because we didn't have a contract, you know, and I don't understand that, but I will find out.
Or they didn't have a contract,
Right.
because she puts it out to bid and then
That's
whoever wins
not-
the bid gets that.
Thurman, we haul our own, we have nothing
Yeah,
to
right.
do with them. And I don't wanna mention any, but prior management really didn't wanna work on it too much or
Well,
just let it go, you know.
all I gotta do is call them
Yeah.
and ask them if they're willing to take our household
Yeah,
garbage.
we'll
We're gonna-
stop right down,
I
see
can do
what
that, yeah.
We can.
And I'll call,
Let's sit in on the call with you, if you don't.
Sure,
She's
yeah.
pretty good about
and I'll email Julie Butler to see if there's gonna be a schedule like that,
Yeah,
you
it.
know.
Yeah, because what I want everybody to know is like, the non-process is gone, it's like almost $96 a ton now to dispose of it, which is, and I think we can do better. But it's the rest of the stuff that we aren't getting credited for. Non-process, $72 a ton. C&D, $72 a ton. Plastic is $214.50 a ton that we have to pay to get rid of, that we aren't collecting any revenue on. And this is a meeting that we're gonna have to have, you know. But if we can incorporate that into our household trash, we wouldn't have the problem, like the
Yes.
plastic and stuff, okay? That would
It's a
eliminate
lot cheaper to throw it in your regular bag than it is
That's
in your
right, exactly.
recycle.
And I agree with, yes, Brian, it would be, but that's something we all have to agree on, we have to find out what we can do and what we can't do.
Should we have a public workshop or a public meeting?
We
Just to
could.
discuss
Yeah,
this,
just-
to get feedback from the public on whether they want, you know, town pickup or whether they wanna stick with what they
What do they
got.
want? Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I think it, you know, to me, it's just another surge for the taxpayer.
Sure.
You know, it's like your highway. If we just, like the processable household trash, nothing else, no non-processed, no C&D. That's gonna have to come at a higher cost down the road. It's gonna happen, and and maybe people don't wanna bring it there. Maybe we'll have to stop taking some of that stuff. I hope not. It might come to that.
I can
don't
see
know.
pros and cons of doing it both ways,
Yeah.
and I don't have strong feelings either way, so,
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, I I'd like to hear, I know you hear people coming into the
Oh, all the time,
transportation.
yeah.
I don't have
get
that
both
luxury.
sides.
I'd like people to come to a meeting and tell
Yeah.
us how they feel about it.
I get a lot of, you know, a lot of pros for it, and then there are some cons, and most of it because of the critters, but it's gonna happen when you have in the can or large container like yours. I
Yeah.
see it all the time, that people are
I've
complaining.
had mine all over Charles.
It's gonna happen.
I've had to clean that. In fact, the highway even had to clean it up
I'll
once.
probably jinx myself, but in all the years we've been doing it, I've never had a bear get into our garbage
No?
can.
We
And it's not even next to our house, it's
Yeah.
down at the end of my driveway at the sugar house.
Hey, I raise my house, and I do like any kind of mine. Keep your brain locked up, okay? He got my garage and tore that thing apart. He went right in the main garage, I had it locked, ripped it all up, and 15 bags are gone. It doesn't matter, they're gonna do it.
I just asked my mom real quick. She said that they pay $77 per ton at Wheel Graders. But it's actually based on the hauler and their contract and how many tons they bring in per year at Wheel
Mhm.
Oh,
Graders.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's what we get. We get a hauling fee
Yeah.
and
But
then
we
get.
haul our own.
Well, for that,
The
yeah.
process-
my parents do too. My
Yeah.
parents haul their own for their goods, so $77 per ton. I mean, that's, and they haul a lot.
Yeah.
They do all of
Oh, yeah.
Washington and Warren County, so maybe that
Not
$96
only that,
isn't.
we can save fuel costs, time costs, because it's so much closer.
Right.
It's good.
Well, I
it's
think what
good.
she's saying though is because they do such a large volume, they're getting a cheaper per ton rate than we might. Because
Right,
we-
so if they're getting 77 a ton and they're doing all of Warren County, all of Washington County,
Yeah.
like 5,000 stops a week,
Wow.
then maybe, I don't know what Wheel Breeders might be able to offer.
I can remember on the last time, Thursday was a full day, Friday was a half day.
Mhm.
We would run anywhere from 6 to 7 ton on Thursday and 3 to 4 on Friday. And that was standard, that was standard.
9 to 10 tons
And
of
that
garbage.
was when we were taking some of the larger businesses that I don't think that we should have had, you know.
Oh, like commercial. like-
Commercial, you know, some of them, I mean the larger ones, some of them, I
Well,
mean,
it
there
should be
was 12
household
to 14 of the 68, pound container, gallon containers.
Yeah.
And that was a legit commercial business, they should have. Dad
Right.
and Lake did their own, that was fine, they did it, but we had one, and we did, should have.
So here's another concern is if we're not gonna charge for this and people can just set it out from the curb, they might have a lot of relatives in other towns that
Well,
have garbage they wanna
We
dispose of.
went
a lot of
through this
garbage.
before, and I really don't feel that's gonna be a problem.
Okay.
I've run this before, and we've had problems before, and you pretty much know, I mean, we've been doing it for 20 years just
But
about.
how do you address it if you know somebody's doing
Well,
that?
there you go, you gotta have people that will enforce it, you gotta have people that will write a ticket or, a citation, because the last time, prior supervision would not do anything about it. They would fill our truck up on the weekend, and we knew who it was, and nobody would ever press on with what, they need
So-
to hit it in their pocketbook.
Okay.
If they're gonna leave garbage, then to me, that's,
So do you wanna have a
How do we
bag
police
number?
that?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to police it, and if you're
Yeah.
gonna write a ticket, you have to have a law on the books that you can write a ticket
Yeah.
for. So that means we gotta pass a law
We do have one for trash, and we did have one up here.
for trash if it's lit.
There.
But if somebody's putting out their
Well,
friends'
they-
garbage, they got 5 friends in Warrensburg, say, hey, bring your garbage over to Thurman, it's free.
Oh, no, there'd have to be resolutions and
Well,
laws.
would there be a bag limit, like a limit?
That's what I was thinking.
Sometimes it's hard to do, but holidays are a little different.
Yeah, well, that's different. Christmas, you're gonna have a ton of bags. Yeah. but
I don't
like
see
the-
that problem if we have some laws on the books, and if the proper people that would enforce them for us would do it,
Is there any other towns doing this?
Lake
Yeah, there's a
Luzerne
few
does.
towns, Yeah.
Luzerne still does?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lake
yeah.
Luzerne does Freetown.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
Only one I
Your reason
know,
behind that?
only one I know of. Well,
I just think that it would be an extra service for some of the people, I mean, they
It
still
would be
have
a
the
nice
option
service,
to
but it's
come,
gonna bite us.
Yeah.
It's, I think.
I mean, and.
we could try it.
Yeah.
How's that? We could
Well,
try it.
yeah, but I don't know if you can though, Deb, because here's the thing. If you decide to go down this road and do this, that means all of us that have contracts with whatever, Twin Bridges or whatever, all of a sudden we gotta break those.
They're gone, it's
They're
Casella.
gone, and I have a feeling they're not gonna wanna come back if in 2 months some of us decide we don't like it, or 6 months later. I mean, once we cross this bridge,
The people
we're gonna be
that,
stuck
Yeah,
with
the
that thing.
people that have them do not have to break their contract, they can stay with it if they want, there's no, nobody says.
Yeah, but are they gonna come to town and pick up?
What happens
50
is, once you
households.
lose enough customers in an area, say there's only 3 people in Thurman that still have Casella, or even
Right.
20 people that still have Casella, cause it's Twin Bridges are gone, they still have Casella. The company's gonna say it's not worth us coming up there anymore, just like Ace Carding did. Ace Carding handed us off to, Casella,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Ace didn't have a reason to keep coming up here because they didn't have enough people,
The
so they
last-
made a deal with Casella and handed us off to them.
The last time we had household pickup in Thurman was a lot of years, we run it for a lot of years here, and there wasn't a problem.
Yeah, but it was 10 years ago, wasn't it, or longer?
They should never take the truck off the road, that truck should never been off the road.
It does ruin the truck. I don't know if when you guys bought the truck, did you have any kind of idea what you were gonna do when you got it? I mean, it took us 3 years to get the truck.
The original truck, my father, when he was supervisor, got a grant to buy the very first truck.
Wow.
My father implemented free garbage pickup in town.
Did he? Yeah.
That
Wow.
started back in the
The one-
late 70s.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And what was the population then and what's the population now?
Yeah, I think it'd be that
it's changed
different.
much.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think it's changed much.
Yeah.
I don't.
But that back then, Thurman didn't have the option of having an outside company come pick it up. There were local people that would drive around with
There
their pickup.
wasn't no recyclables or nothing like that. It was
Exactly.
all, everything was one garbage.
Yep, that's
There's
the
no
other thing.
taking this out and that out, it was all in one bag.
There was a lot less complicated back then to do it,
Yeah.
so.
Did they dump it at the landfill? People tell me they used to watch the bears eat the garbage
Yeah.
down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, I kinda wish we could push this through. I would like to keep
Well,
bringing it forward, you know, but I think most people would like it. And like I say, the people that don't wanna leave it out, they still have the option of bringing it when we're open during business hours, you know. So,
Well, I'd like to hear from the townspeople
And how do you wanna have them all come here? You wanna have a meeting here?
yeah, it would be nice to have people show up and just voice their opinion on it and
Yeah.
see
Is
what
there
people
any
think.
way, I mean, probably nobody, we'll only get 4 or 5 people. Is there any way we could have a vote on this, like when the election's coming up, saying, okay, the town of Thurman, do you want garbage pickup or don't you? And have the town's people decide that, not us.
Well, to get them all to do that, to put it on a ballot,
Put it on a
I think
ballot.
that would take that's a lot, we would never get it in time for the election. No, we won't do that.
What about a workshop and a survey? So then people that don't wanna come to the workshop can send in a survey
Yeah,
and see, and then
That's
go
the
from there.
easiest, that's the easiest thing to do.
Cause a lot of people don't wanna come to the
You have
meetings.
a dog public hearing. Have a public hearing for the budget and a public hearing on garbage pickup. I couldn't do that.
it'd be worth
I mean, if
something
you're
else.
gonna do that though, you have to have a resolution and stuff drawn up for the proposal of what you're proposing to do.
Too soon.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that that's a more formal
Yeah.
process than what Victoria's
Yeah.
Why
proposing.
couldn't we do that?
I mean-
See,
That would be
Why
very,
can't
that would be
come?
like, yeah, what I'm saying would be very not official, it'd be like, you know, just get
Public
opinions and
hearing.
stuff.
It's November 7th, I don't wanna let it sit there another month and a
Yeah,
half.
that's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
I would put something on for like a workshop and survey and send it out, and just give people enough time to send their surveys back in for the workshop and do it that way, and then, you know, if people want it, then I think try it for a year or so and go from there.
Make a local law or something saying that when your garbage is out, if it does get distributed by animals, whatever, it's your obligation to pick it up.
Well, I mean, as it already is, when we
You
get
know,
our.
get those cans that have the locking lids, you
Yeah.
know, that's what I had in Jersey, cause we had a problem with that.
Well, what I'm thinking is if it happens and then it goes for like a year or so or whatever, and people really like it and there's an issue, more people want cans, what's it to say, okay, we want these cans, whatever, we can order a sleeve of them and they'll be like X amount a piece from from a company that has the cans,
Yeah.
even get little stickers put on the side that says Thurman Townwide Pickup.
Are you talking about the cans like we have now that the truck picks
Yes,
up and dumps?
and then you could even push forward to get, you can get attachments for the back on the hopper for a toter dumper.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, you
There
can
you
get,
go.
yes, you can get an attachment that
This
goes on.
truck's not set up with the hydraulics yet, but,
But that all comes with the kit. It's a kit. The toter dumper is a kit, and you can add it, you can put it on there.
The loader truck we had it, and it was nice.
Yeah, they are, they are.
Because the thing is, if you're talking about dumping these large cans that we have now, if they're full,
Oh, I know.
I don't think you want to be wrestling them around. I
No,
don't.
you don't, they're heavy.
Our
mean,
loader
they're heavy.
truck had that
So-
option on it, it was very nice.
They're nice,
Yeah,
and-
if it's free garbage, you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, people are gonna be
How much
packing
that
it in
is?
there.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be everything and
Yeah.
anything, yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
heavy. So
We should find out how much that is, that thing you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll ask my dad. He's on a couple different like sites, cause like there's like marketplaces for garbage trucks.
Yeah.
You know that.
Go online, you grid online.
Yeah, there's a ton of them, like garbage truck Craigslist and stuff. And there, you can either get brand new or you can get them used. And the used ones, there's nothing wrong with them. People just have upgraded to. A lot of places are switching over to the side arm thing.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of people just want a little bit of their money back from the other ones.
Yeah.
I would be a lot more in favor of it if we could actually use the large cans and you have a dumper.
Yeah.
So.
And if you order, if so many people already want cans, if they say, I only wanna do it if I can get a can, there's websites that sell the garbage containers and you can actually customize the lid color, so you could have something that stands out for, you know, the town and be like, oh, that's definitely ours. Even get stickers to put on them, and I think they're, I wanna say it's a one-time fee per container of like $85 or $90. But it has the handle that fits the arm.
Well, with knowing that we're gonna have so much additional sales tax, this is the year to do it. If we're gonna get that arm or whatever that thing is called, the hydraulic part, we'll have the money to do it.
I'll front you in tonight.
Yeah, I really don't think that they're that expensive as to how helpful they are. I used to work with my dad on a garbage truck. I was riding that garbage truck from the time I was 14, so. And I did it without the arm and with the arm, and I tell you what, I was a lot happier.
Oh, it's a lot easier to push it up.
Oh, yeah,
That's it.
yep.
So how much time do we need to give to have a public workshop here? Like, would the September 26th be,
I don't think there's rules on a workshop.
no?
I mean, a public
I mean,
hearing.
They have
there's
the
no such
workshop.
thing technically as a workshop, it's a public meeting. As long as we have a quorum, it's a meeting.
It's a meeting,
So we have to do the same public notice.
Yeah, just,
so 3 days. So if we did it now and you put a notice out on the 23rd and we had it on the 26th, is that kind of soon?
I think it's too soon. I think we need to get the word out that we're thinking about this
Yeah,
and have time to get the word out, get people to come to a meeting.
Yeah.
So I would,
well, we're having a special meeting on the 3rd.
I would say 2 weeks is probably plenty of time.
Then we're going
That would be
to
October 3rd.
October 3rd, is not long from now, it's what?
that's
2
the day we
weeks
get
almost?
the budget handed to us, right?
But
We're not
that's,
gonna do anything else other than get the budget and leave, so that would be a good day to do
Right,
it.
you're all are
that
gonna
would
be
be a
here.
real good day.
okay,
So
Seems like-
October 3rd is gonna be,
budgets and garbage, okay.
There you go,
What time on the 3rd for the?
4:30.
4:30, and we just do both things. I mean, all we're doing is physically handing the budget to the board. We don't really discuss it or anything, we just present it and
so it's gonna be
then we'll deal with it.
in garbage workshop. Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna call it a workshop.
That doesn't sound good, the budget garbage
Garbage,
workshop.
how about garbage pickup workshop?
At least it's not garbage budget.
Yeah,
What do you want, what kind of workshop do you
We
wanna
call
call
it,
it?
yeah, a budget
Waste
presentation, a budget
Waste
presentation.
disposal workshop?
yeah.
Okay,
Garbage truck opinion poll.
I didn't think it had something.
I love the idea, I'm hoping you're gonna do it.
Wasted.
There's no way to word it.
Brian, don't
correctly
go
around
there.
here.
We're on camera, Brian, don't say it.
That'll work. Okay. And then we'll just try to like tell as many people as we can and let people know it'll be on the,
On the
third.
town website. I can make a little flyer thing.
Mhm.
and Just
I'll
start.
try to remember, if people
sporadically
come in, I'll say,
sharing
hey, hey,
And we'll put a
let me know when you put it on, and then I'll just copy it and put it on Facebook.
Okay.
Is that all on that issue?
Cindy, do you want me to make up like a little flyer with a little garbage can and stuff?
Did you have?
I can do that quick. I'll send it to you and then you can. Yeah.
They even put them around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an app that has
You
a
have
bunch of free
another
flyers and
subject?
stuff. I'm sure they have a garbage one on there.
So,
Or even like a
Just wanted to ask,
recycling
I mean,
symbol or something.
We kind of, I feel like we kind of dropped the short-term rental thing.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Put it on there.
what are we doing with that, anything, or if we just,
well, I'm finding out now that the people who tried to ban them are facing multiple lawsuits over that. And I don't wanna get involved in anything like that, so banning them, I think, would be a bad idea
What was that?
for short-term.
we're talking about short-term rentals. I just asked
Oh,
whether
oh,
there's,
yeah.
because we had a lot of stuff going on a while ago,
Yeah.
and then it seems like it all kind of died.
Well, we
I just
haven't had
wanted-
any issues that I know of
No.
with them. As far as the garbage pickup though, I don't think we can not pick up a short-term rentals garbage because they're taxpayers and they're paying for
Well,
it.
I think you're gonna have to pick up businesses, because they're paying taxes too, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess it depends.
You could make a small fee for commercial because it is different because they can use it as a tax write-off if they're a business.
Yeah.
Commercial.
Good idea, I could put that down on the sheet.
Depends on how much they're already paying in taxes. Some of us are paying. So,
But as far as like, I mean, everything, as far as waste is working, nobody's complained about loose dogs, nobody's complained about trespass, we haven't had any complaints.
And they're
so,
nice people too.
has our code enforcement officer been called to do anything?
Oh, yeah, he has been. He's been called over to Smith, and if you drive down that road, you won't see anything in the road anymore. He's been called down by the bridge, loose dog, when Brett was away, there was loose dogs, and he went there, and he can't take the dog, but he could tell them they'll get a ticket. Yeah, he's been on a couple calls.
So, something I kind of feel is like, when we have people in charge of various departments, it'd be nice if we the town board kind of got a report once in a while, so we knew what was going on.
Well, he did just get his 3-part, forms to fill out when he answers a call,
Yeah,
so,
I mean, just, even if it was every 3 months, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be every month,
Just
just,
have to keep a log of his.
yeah.
just kind of,
and what he did and whatever, just,
I
so
can
we have an
have-
idea
I
what
can
he's
ask him to
doing.
do
because.
that.
Or the town has an idea. what he's
Yeah,
doing.
I have two concerns. One is that the town board's in the dark because like I had no idea what he's going to. I haven't heard anything.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to know that in case people ask me. But also if the public feels like he's not getting called to anything, then it's hard for us to justify putting that money in the budget to do something if they feel like he's getting paid to do nothing.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it would be helpful. I mean, it kind of justifies his position.
yeah.
Well, I would think too, you'd want a paper trail, so if he's repeatedly going to the same place over and over and over again, you can say, you would talk to X, Y, Z.
Yeah, if he gets,
Well,
trying
I
to
can
call
tell
out.
you, he's been doing, we
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff
He
coming
could write
from
that
landfill
down.
from certain people. I can
Okay, so we
tell
should
you.
be filling
I'm
that
not
out.
gonna mention names, okay?
And one of the things
But you're
is,
right, he should probably
you know,
wait
had a
until-
discussion, issue resolved,
Just
you know,
a
stuff like
report,
that.
just something
Yeah.
brief, just a summary of, I've had these calls, this was the resolution.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a
just-
sheet for
Even if
that.
it's only a couple of sentences,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
just
there's
so
an
we,
actual form.
They,
perfect.
they used it, there were several people that would give report, they would bring them to me and then I would bring them to the town board
Right.
in the past. They were, so like EMS used to have,
Yeah.
and Dexter used to always, give me a report, I can't think, but that's a good way to do it, have them give it to me and then I would present it to you.
Yeah, it'd be nice if
That's
each of the
fine.
departments that we have kind of did something along those lines.
Yep, like the dog catcher and
Yeah.
I
he
mean,
does, once in a while, he gives us a report, so.
Pat will shoot me, but it would be nice if we knew kind of what projects he's kind of, what ones he's working on, what ones are coming up and stuff like
I
that.
think he is
because-
supposed to do that. I think he is supposed to do that, actually.
I think he did used to do that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Then
I think you are
file.
supposed, I think there's a rule on it, actually, that you're supposed to do that. So
Okay,
you have
we're gonna
something-
erase this part of the tape.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame you.
Well, he does know. It's
Okay.
just that he doesn't tell us, but he does always know in advance because he knows by how much tips money he's gonna get, what he's gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes he may only do part of a road and then save it, cause he can roll it over, and then the next next year he's gonna spend more.
I mean, I know each one of us could walk in and just talk to him
Yeah.
about that, but it's, you
But
know,
some-
when we're busy and stuff like that, and he has to talk to 4 different board members besides you, I mean, it would be nice if we just
Yeah.
kinda knew what was going on.
Well, and the same with Brett, they should all do it, because actually he's been picking up dogs like crazy and nobody knows. You know.
That's exactly true, because to tell you the truth, I had no idea.
Yeah, the other day he got bit,
Yeah, 'cause
actually.
everybody comes and say, well, why are we paying him? He's not doing nothing.
I've heard that, and
Nobody is, there's been a
Yeah.
lot of loose dogs,
Yeah.
and the one that he just picked up bit him, and, it did end up at Countryside, so. I
And the
mean,
thing is, if somebody complains to me about whichever department or something, I don't feel comfortable trying to justify it because I
Yeah.
don't know what.
Well, that should maybe be a monthly report at our meeting, that could be.
Monthly would be ideal,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to be reasonable and not create a lot of work for people, so,
It
I'm
should
okay
be
with updates.
Quarterly would be a start.
yeah.
quarterly.
But when you hired them, you asked them for monthly reports, if I remember right.
I don't remember, but probably.
Even Mrs. Lahappier, I believe, when you hired her, she was asked to turn in monthly reports.
I've handed in reports, I hand
Well,
in
I'm not
reports to
saying you
grants
did,
all the
I'm
time.
When you were,
I
when
feel
you
like I
hired
use
them,
paperwork now.
you can go back and listen to the tape, when you hired them, you told them they should be turning in monthly reports.
I'm sure he could do that, I'm
Yeah.
sure he could, yeah.
Okay. The only other thing I was gonna ask about is, what are we gonna do with the Harris House? Have we had any more thoughts on that, or?
No.
I had somebody look into maybe getting some grants to see if we could get it taken down as like a hazard, because there is lead
I think we
asbestos.
should give it back to the people that give it to us.
Yeah, but it's
I
already,
don't think he would get.
I don't think they want it.
So it comes from, I know the family well. Yeah.
I thought it was when,
No, I think I was under the impression it was for a library.
yeah,
well, they
I'd
had
like to get back to that.
So, I don't mean to sit here and keep blowing my dad's horn, but
No.
my dad was the one that actually got the grant to buy all the property for the rec field,
yeah,
and that included the Harris House.
right,
And they graded and leveled the recreation field, they did all the logging up there and everything. And in the Harris House, they did have a library for several years.
yeah, they did, I
So
remember.
that was all part of that,
Mm-hmm,
but that was, back in the 70s.
yeah.
Mhm.
The thing is
there
the
any way
cost,
to get a grant, have somebody?
if they're gonna pay the whole thing, cause it's gonna cost a lot of money.
There's so many different things, and I've looked at it from every angle, whether it be restoring it, getting grants to restore it as a historical landmark, or just getting it taken down as hazardous waste. There's still the state grants, they want, they're like matching grants, they want you to put in just as much as, and even with us qualifying, because we actually have on our poverty level is what they consider it, is at 10.8%. That means 10.8% of people here are living below what is considered impoverished. And that helps us get a lot of extra grant money to do things like that, and the cost is still obscene.
It is, yeah.
So it's like,
Could we put it out to bid, to have that torn down?
It's just money wise, until we know what the bond's gonna be and the payment's gonna be.
it's definitely on the schedule, for me at least, to have something done with that, because I would like to get a nice library put up or something, or some sort of community building that is a library with maybe some computers in it for people that don't have access to internet at home to come in like a library and
It'd
have
be
that.
easier for you to
activity
get
center.
a new library put up than it would be to.
It absolutely would be
It'll be
easier.
cheaper.
Condemned, it's
I know, that's what I'm saying, it would have to get taken down.
It's gotta be torn
So
down.
it would have to be taken down and then put something up afterwards. And I mean, there's 5-year plans and everything. I mean, there's a ton of grants I've looked at, and most of them want a 5-year plan, which is reasonable to have something torn down and something new constructed and ready. But it's just the cost associated with it. I mean, the youth commission, I think we have like $500 of revenue this year so far. So we're not really in the market for building a library at the moment.
Yeah, but you never know.
Never know.
It changes all the time with what's
The
available.
fire department do a drill?
I asked that too, and guess what? I was told you're not allowed to do controlled burns in New York
They don't
State
let you
anymore.
do that anymore.
Yeah, I literally looked at this from every angle, trying to get rid of that building to be able to utilize that space.
I talked to Gary, the engineer, about it, and he estimates it to be slightly under $200,000 to take it
Yeah.
down and it has to be transported to Buffalo.
Yep. Which means we would have to be able to put in
Because of,
Because of just
Lead and asbestos.
and asbestos, and people in hazmat suits have to come to take it down. Now, years ago, we could have just,
before
Take
all
it
the
down.
notes were done about
the
it.
highway could have been done in a day, but.
Which even if it was $200,000, we would still have to put forth 25% of that, because most grants would cover 75% for us based on our different levels in our,
I
town.
would just like to feel more comfortable knowing where the bond's gonna bring us before.
Right. So I think maybe by the end of next year, we can look at it again, and
Yeah,
I certainly have big feelings about that spot, for potential wise to do different things.
yeah, the space would be good.
It would be. I mean, even when we do events in here, different vendor events, it's crowded. You can only get about 5 or 6 vendors in here, but if we had even a bigger building that, could be multiple things. It could be a library, it could be, a community center, it could be somewhere that you could have more vendor events.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Mm-hmm. It's also down the road.
Right, it's not in here.
we gotta take care of the garage situation.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
maybe the end of next year, it'll be more of a, and maybe in the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have a good thunderstorm. I don't know.
You never know. Lightning hit a tree in our yard, and we were just lucky that, that didn't go any further. That was an enormous sound. I'd never heard it before. And the weird thing is all that bark and shreds
Mm-hmm.
that popped out of that tree, landed in a circle around it. It was so weird.
Yeah.
I never experienced that. It was very loud. Didn't you? You said you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That one boat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance that we can get with the assessors and look into our senior, citizen exemptions?
Yeah.
Because the town of Thurman isn't close to anything that the towns around us are doing.
Like, in what way do you mean? 'Cause I
Well, at the county, if you make less than $29,000 a year, you get 50% off your county taxes.
Oh, wow.
In the town of Johnsburg, you make $31,500, you get 50% off your town taxes.
And what is it here?
In the town of Thurman, you can make $12,500 to get a
Really?
reduction.
Needs to be adjusted then.
I'd like to readjust it, I'm a senior citizen now.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things with the assessment.
Well, I've talked to Sue about it, and she says it's up to the board to make that
Really?
decision.
Okay.
And she didn't wanna say anything about it, cause she said it's gonna put the burden on the younger people in town and families, so. I've been here for 20 years, I've been paying my taxes. Everyone else has a senior citizen exemption that goes up with pay scale. Ours hasn't changed in 15 years.
So all we have is like the enhanced star, and that's from the state, right?
Enhanced star is school tax.
Yeah.
It's not,
Doesn't
nothing to
affect
do
your
with
town
county
at
or
all.
state tax,
No.
or town tax.
So when you're saying the 29,000 half off, 31,000
Yeah,
half
but-
off, that's town tax?
No, the county is $29,000,
That's
you
the
can get 50%, that's the county,
Okay.
29,000.
Mm-hmm.
Johnsburg is, for town tax,
Mm-hmm.
is 31.5, you can make, and get 50% off your town tax. I think Stony Creek and Luzerne are pretty close to that, but we're at 12,500.
Wow, that is pretty low. Yeah. No,
I mean,
I'll ask her about it.
And it goes up, I mean, if you make,
It's a range, right?
yeah, it is a range.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 5% off your town tax or your county tax, depending on, it all depends on what you make a year.
Yeah.
But I think that getting a reduction on town
When
tax
does our
is way out.
assessors come up
What's
with
that?
My dad's in it.
reappointment or whatever they,
I
I don't
think-
know how this ever
Pretty
even
confident in it.
happened before.
Yeah,
How they-
he was appointed, and I don't know.
It used to be a
exactly when.
4-year term.
I think it's 6. I think it's assessor 6. I don't know.
6 years for appointed, and it used to be 4 years when they were elected.
When they were
Oh,
elected.
not elected
okay, well,
anymore.
he's not elected now, so 6 years.
6
yeah.
years.
But if you think back, when did that
His
happen?
new act.
He's up next year.
17 or 18, right?
18.
It was more than 6 years ago, I think.
No, 18, they were appointed to finish out an elected position, and then they were reappointed in 18. So
18?
It's 6 years, it'll be this,
When is she
25.
back? It'll be this year.
25 will be.
20,
You gonna reappoint them or put them on an election ballot?
2025, you said?
2025.
Okay.
Speaking of elections and appointed and
That'll be,
stuff.
well, for us next year too.
Yeah, we're up next
We're
year
up, the
too.
assessors will be on the, or however we decide to do it, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, the board has to decide whether you're gonna appoint them again or put them back on an elected official.
that's that what the choice is, yeah. Yeah, well, I know I'm up, you're up too, and so is Charlie. You guys are good for another 2 more years, right, till 2027?
Oh, so Charlie's will be when?
So next
Next year.
we'll have an election,
Like what? When does the election happen? Like in
November, just like
The
our
election's in
election.
November, but you have to have, petitions in,
Early,
it's back in April or something like that.
yeah.
So like.
Depending on which party or which,
Yeah.
I think it starts in March.
they start in March to sign, but you have to turn them in sometime
Yeah,
around the
in
beginning of
April.
April.
You have to,
Depending on which party and whether it's independent or not.
right, and you have to run for the 1-year term too, just like I do? Yeah, and.
Yeah, cause I'm every 2
Run for
years,
1
yeah.
year too?
So like,
Yeah.
if somebody wanted to, you know, run for that position, they would have to submit stuff in March.
Yeah, you have to,
Yeah.
well,
there's a
the
deadline.
calendars-
You have to get your petition signed by so many people and then.
It's like
Oh, so I have to have the petition,
Hmm.
that said person would have to have a petition signed by so many people and in by March.
yeah,
I think it's March.
The calendar's on, I believe it's on the Warren County Board of Elections website. If not, go to the State Board of Elections and it's on there, because the calendar's the same.
you didn't need a lot of signatures, I think it was like 25, but it depends if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, they're all different numbers.
It's a percentage of the voting population,
Mhm.
so, and they reduced it during the pandemic too, so.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, we only had to have like 8 or 9.
Really?
It was a ridiculous.
How much is it for, how many for Republican? Do you
I kind of think it was 25, but I
It's
don't
Well,
know.
the
something like
pandemic, see, they changed, so I don't know what it
Well,
is
that was,
now.
he's talking about during COVID, they didn't,
Oh.
right, you're talking about
I'm
COVID
thinking
time?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can go on a website and it'll tell you everything about it and samples, petitions and
Okay.
all that stuff is out there, so.
alright.
Yeah, cause I know both Cynthia and I have to run for 1 year and then we have to run again because they're changing it to be even numbers, so.
Pat,
So
too.
1 year's not even.
Pat too, he'll be running for 1 year,
Their terms are 2 years, board members are 4.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I thought you said for 1 year.
I mean, we could change it to 4, but I don't really wanna go through all that paperwork. If people want me to be in, they'll vote, you know, so
Right.
I don't really, it's okay.
I just had a few things for the youth commission.
Okay.
We're always looking for volunteers. I might like to do a workshop on that and see where people are at with what they think of what's happened so far, what they'd like to see, whatever. I didn't know if we could get a copy of that letter that you said you sent to DOH, just
Oh, okay.
so I can like scan it and email it over so I have a paper trail of it, like, hey, listen, we sent this,
Yeah,
looking for a follow-up,
right,
whatever.
okay.
Upcoming youth events that we have is movie night on 9/27 is gonna be Inside Out 2. There's gonna be one last archery class, which I think I have quite a few more kids finally flowing in now, on September 29th. And then we're going to do another sewing class, and it's a special little project to make doll blankets for the Warren County Sheriff's Department. And we're gonna take little stuffed animals and put them in there, and they will distribute them to children that need them, that have been in any sort of traumatic situation that they come across on their calls. So they'll keep those in their car and they'll disperse them.
Yeah, they told
so-
you about that, right? The
Yeah.
sheriff did,
Yeah, well, actually, Avis had told me that the quilters had done it a couple years ago. I'm like, that actually sounds really cool. So I called down there, and I actually just got the call back earlier. Jim LaFar called me and said that they would love to have that if we,
That's
however
cute.
many we could make, he would love to take them, and they would absolutely use them.
Mhm.
So I figured that would be a really nice thing for the kids to be able to do and participate in, and it'd be a very easy project for them too. And then that's about it for that. And I should I put in the new
Your Halloween party.
Well, oh yeah, the Halloween party that's coming up on October 25th. That's a big one. Actually, there's quite a few people interested in that. I think it's up to like 70 something people on the event page for that, just for the town, for the Halloween party.
Mhm.
And then I've got to do Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. And Rebecca, that woman I told you about, did you get in touch with her?
Is that,
I don't know her last name.
Bradley, Rebecca Bradley maybe?
I don't know her last name. I could find out from my daughter.
I thought, I don't know, I tried to look them up, but none of them really looked.
Cause I saw her, she said she would help out at the Halloween party.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
And I told her, bring your kids to movie night, so maybe she'll be there.
I think quite a few people are excited about that movie because it's just coming out on streaming like 2 days before. And then we got all those donations from Rosie for the squishmallows that we might use those in the blankets because kids.
I didn't even know what a squishmallow was.
I know they're like an animal
You know
pillow
what
pet
they
thing.
are? No.
Yeah, it's like a pillow with a face on it, and it's like a little animal. Like I don't know, it's like a circle pillow with this animal face. They're cute, and kids love them. So, and those might work for that too. That would be nice. So, I think that.
Yeah, they're upstairs. I'll bring them to you. You brought them today. The squish pillows.
Oh yeah, I can find somewhere to put them. Yeah. And a quick question on what I just. Where did I have it? On the occupancy tax stuff. It says what types of activities are eligible for funding, and farmers markets are listed here. Could we get banners next year for that? Under that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it also says nature trails and outdoor adventure activities, and then in parentheses, hiking and biking, hunting and fishing, whitewater rafting, etc. Only your imagination and the purpose of the grant's tourism limits the possibility. Would that be able to look into recutting those trails for the archery range? Because that's going to bring in a lot of tourism, believe it or not.
Well,
How so? I'm just curious, how do you do that? I mean, to bring in the tourism for the archery trails.
Well, I've already been in contact with one of the heads of S3DA, which is it's a youth group for archery, and they are all over the Northeast.
Okay.
And when I asked them about starting this range, because I'm actually getting courtesy discounts through S3DA for the range, because I'm also going to become an S3DA instructor, there's already 3 different clubs from different states even that want to come once we're set up and ready. And they're going to need somewhere to stay.
Nice.
Because they're going to be from out of town. Archery is a really big sports industry. When I competed, I went all the way to Seven Springs, Pennsylvania. I traveled all up and down the Northeast, but it was for the World Championship, which from all over the world, I went to Seven Springs, Pennsylvania. So every year they kind of decide where championships are held, so you can hold regular shoots. It's going to bring people in from all different bordering states or whatever, or even just youth from around. And then there's also, if you get selected to be a championship site, you have a lot
Nice.
of archers.
what she just recently did was we ordered 3D targets, and that's what the trails are for. 3D targets are going to be up there. The deer, the bear, whatever, all of things.
There's all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that was the other thing, is because I used to be part of that industry, is I was able to get help from the S3DA person that I'm talking about, and they got me in contact with the new owners of the Delta McKenzie targets, and they extended their courtesy discount of the S3DA instructors to me, even though I'm not an instructor yet. I'm working on it. So we have a whole half of the range that we were able to cover with the grant that I got from the county for about half price. And then in the spring, when I'm able to get the paperwork in for the other part of the grant, we're gonna get the other half of the range
Nice.
and recut the trails and hopefully get some kids here competing. And then from there, I'd like to talk to NASC, which is National Archery in Schools Program, about getting kids set up in Warrensburg at school. So then it carries over, kind of like travel ball, but it would be archery. So they want somewhere to go during the summer to do that, and that would be right here.
Good.
And then they'd have access to all sorts of scholarships through NASC and S3DA, which would be incredible for the kids in this town to have access to multiple scholarships that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Is this grant money or occupancy tax money?
Grant money. What I've done so far is grant money, but I was just looking at the tax money because there is such a surplus of it for just to help with cutting those trails and getting those back to where they need to be. Because it does say in here it's for individuals, not-for-profit, and for-profit organizations, clubs, and groups, and for the outdoor activities, and it says multiple times in here throughout the OPTAX sports.
Well, I just read, I believe yesterday, there should be some type of occupancy tax, cause Queensbury High School just used $28,000 in occupancy tax for field and track. When did it come, the occupancy tax can be used in the school situation? I thought,
If they're bringing people in.
well, that, they must be, cause it's,
Yeah, so that's the underlying theme of occupancy tax, heads and beds, just
Yeah.
remember that. If you're
Right.
bringing people to town that are gonna stay here overnight and spend money, that's what it's all about.
Well, that's the thing with these archery, the championship shoots are normally 2 days, not a weekend.
That they use for their field,
Okay,
countywide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the championship shoots, sometimes they're 2-day shoots, and so they're gonna need to stay, they're gonna wanna stay, or sometimes they've traveled so far that they make a weekend of it, especially when there's kids involved and it's a family situation, they're like, okay, let's do this one day, let's go look around the next day, or they'll come a day early and rest, because they're very serious about their competitions, and they wanna rest and then shoot the next day.
Lake George just did the triathlon, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, it could be a really huge thing if it's done correctly, and I'm doing my best to do it that way.
And we also have the Grand Prix.
Schroon Lake's got a triathlon this week or next week.
Marathon, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Chester does a 5K, they did a 5K race, that's coming up, I think I saw it advertised.
But that's definitely something I'd like to look into and see, because it does sound like it could be, because it does say for infrastructure, says enhancement of existing and new recreational activities and attractions to be developed to accommodate and increase the number of tourists, hiking trails, that would even a gondola, if we ever wanted to do more with the ice rink and the sledding hill.
Wait a minute, you're planning a gondola? No,
I'm
just
not
kidding.
planning that, I'm just
kidding.
saying it's an option.
Road pole.
We'll be lucky if we have somebody with 4-wheeler pulling the kids back up the hill. It says, sports is mentioned in here multiple times, and the infrastructure of sports and hiking trails and anything outdoor, right here. Enhancing the environment, improving infrastructures related to tourism, convention, sports. So it's all in there, so I think it's worth looking into a little bit more to see, because I don't think it would be too terribly much, get those recut and just make sure that they're good.
Yeah,
And then maybe some sort of cover for an ice rink that,
yeah, the ice rink, having something over top of that would be good. It's a big ice rink, we are putting it up this year in hopes that we will have the right weather. It's 32 by 64 feet, it's big,
oh, so
How
it's
big
bigger
is
than
the
I
pavilion?
Yeah.
smaller than that.
Smaller than that, and it's too low. So once you put the ice in there and put 6 inches of ice, people are gonna hit their heads off the rafters.
The pavilion's that low?
It
We
is
had
once you
ice-
stand up 6 inches to a foot on ice.
Well, we had an ice rink.
And then
built
have
into
your
the pavilion
skates.
One year,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they used to.
Well, this one that we have up there has the hockey nets and all that stuff with it. And
It's got all the sides and everything. We just
Yeah,
need to be able to set it up. I don't think the
How
pavilion's.
high does it come up?
I
Cause
don't
those
know.
guys put an 8 or 10 inch, plastic base down and poured it full of water, and the whole pavilion was an ice rink.
I think this has poured walls, it's got
It's got the locked together walls and the liner, and then it's also got the bumpers to keep you off from the liner.
Right.
When people told me before about when they did the ice rink under the pavilion, the thing was is that there was so much ice, and then standing on your skates, if there were people that were too tall that were hitting their heads on the rafters. So
And I did talk to someone who's willing to come and help put it up, and also to teach skating, and he does a lot with hockey, so he wants to, you know. And even at the county level, they keep telling me, when you put your ice rink up, they wanna promote it, so. But the weather hasn't cooperated, but this year's supposed to be different, so.
no, I know, because last year I had plenty of people that were offered to come help put it up. I even contacted the fire department would come fill it,
They're willing to
everything.
fill it, yeah.
And then it was like it just rained, or we had 4 feet of snow. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like not optimal ice weather.
Yeah. It's good though, I'm excited about that.
Anything else?
Yeah. Have we hired highway employees yet?
Yes, one highway employee was hired, he started Wednesday, just started.
Wednesday.
Yeah, and, right now, the highway superintendent has got a person who used to work here, doesn't work here anymore, but agreed to come back in the winter for extra help for plowing, so that saves money. Instead of hiring 2 people, he's only hiring 1 full-time person and then 1 part-time winter person. So,
And are we in the middle of a union contract yet?
yep, we're in the middle of that too. Yep, they gave me what they wanted and I just need to type the whole thing up and then start negotiating from there. Yeah. I know, it's a lot going on right now, it's a busy time.
The budget's the biggest one.
Yeah.
I mean, October's gonna go by fast.
Oh, the whole year's gonna go by fast. I don't wanna think about it, but it's okay. Anybody have anything else, or is it Doug's turn?
It's Doug's turn.
Doug's
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, have a good night.
You too.
I'll bring that to the audience, you know.
Yeah, here's the rest of it.
Oh. That's it, okay.
Randy, before you go.
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
could I talk to you for a minute?
Let me turn this
Yeah.
off.
But can I,